and the well-being of our planet, I raise sacred smoke. For those of you in joy, in the glow of small or great triumphs, who live in love, faith, courage, and respect, I raise sacred smoke. And in the act of all of this, I raise it also for myself. And for our reading, we'll get to the right place. I will, I promise. I live for miracles in my life these days, not the earth-changing, light-bringing, soul-powering kind, but the ones that carve out a small space of peace where before there was only the jumble of resentment, fear, and doubt. The ones that happen from choosing to live the right way, like coming to understand that forgiveness isn't about gaining a release from others, it's about gaining release from me. If I release my hold on what binds me, I can walk free and unencumbered. But I have to embrace the resentment, fear, and doubt to gain that. I have to own them, hold them again, so that I can learn to let them go. In that letting go is the miracle.
Changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought that changes things that shape my life. I am the thinker who thinks the thought. I have the power to change my life. Ask me who I am. I am
Hi. Hi. Missing Marie today. and being thrown into the tech world.
Good job, Leslie.
Yeah.
Yay, Leslie and Brian and Thomas.
Yeah, it's doing all right. We had no sound going out to the streaming world for the first, 7 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. We've solved the problem now, though. Life is all good.
Better 7 minutes than 30 minutes.
Yes. Except for the angry, like, there's no sound. What are you people doing? So order is the first law. So there is an order to doing things, and we thought we had done everything orderly. You come in, you plug all the stuff in, and then you check and say, hey, is this working, and is that connected? And it's all done, and it's not working. And then I realized there was actually, on the left-hand side of the software streaming, I know this is all very exciting to all of you, there's actually a little tiny, the little speaker that they have? There was a little tiny one there, and it was on mute.
Oh.
I didn't know. No. None of us knew.
Now you know.
But now we know.
Did you know that? Now you know.
Now we know. So that's solved. So even though we did all the checklists and we went through everything, and Marie gave us a great list of things to do, we somehow still find a way to not get it to work properly. But that's okay. What's that? Everyone was very patient. People write, hey, the sound's not working. I take it as, the sound's not working. But it was probably just, hey, the sound's not working.
You have to put a smiley face at
Yeah.
the end, otherwise you're not. It sounds not working. Smiley.
But we love you. Maybe a heart, So, as I've said so many times, Rev Patricia is on me. I need to talk title. So I was like, oh yeah, order is the first law, great. And I had nothing this morning, absolutely nothing this morning. So I decided to be orderly. I was like, okay, what could I do to actually get something flowing? And so I went to my book. What is it? Kindle, my Kindle, and I've got all these books that I had ordered for all my classes. So I thought I'll go to Fillmore, Charles Fillmore, the 12 Powers, and I'll go to the Power of Order and see what comes up. But before I got there, I had realized I had the book on the Upanishads or Upanishads. I had that, and I was like, oh, I got squirrel moment. Oh, what's this? So I didn't quite make it to that book right away. I got stuck there, and then I started reading, and I couldn't stop. But I did take this quote from there. By knowing one piece of gold, the Upanishads observed, all things made out of gold are known. They differ only in name and form, while the stuff of which all are made is gold. So I was like, oh, wow, that's probably really deep. And there's lots there. It's probably really deep. So I started to think of us, all of those out watching and those here and myself and people, that we are all that piece of gold, but we're all different, right? We're all different, but we all have that same stuff within us, that piece of gold. So if we know one piece of gold, in essence, we know the truth of what each one of us can be, and I won't use the word should, but the truth of what each one of us can be and what we can each realize. And we could actually go around seeing that in one another, right? Holding that. And that, I did eventually get to Fillmore and order, and I found that the order was very, very biblical. If anybody's ever read The 12 Powers of Man from Charles Fillmore, the section on spiritual order is very, very biblical. So it was messing with me this morning, but I was thinking about that in terms of, he does bring up the Christ consciousness. So it's seeing the Christ consciousness in each person, right? Seeing and holding that, and holding it within ourselves at the same time. And that is, to me, that piece of gold that we all can observe in one another, and we can all kind of land on and maybe hold on to, is that when everything else might be falling apart, we can grasp onto that. And so then I thought, well, there's this idea in there that Fillmore brings up of involution and evolution. And so I went to the definition of evolution because he says that, Charles Fillmore says that to fulfill our intention of evolution, we must begin with involution. So I went to the definition of that, and I took the mathematics definition of this. A function, transformation, or operator that is equal to its inverse, which gives the identity when applied to itself. So if our evolution, this is my interpretation of it, if we want our evolution to look a certain way, it has to match with our involution. It actually begins it's an inward-outward job. So in order for us to achieve an outward expression of ourselves that we desire, we actually have to go in and begin. So the order is to do the work inside on ourselves in order to have our lives evolve in the manner in which we would like it to evolve. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's an inside job, right? We've all heard that before. It's always an inside job. So then, this is all this morning, by the way. What a morning I had, just getting into all this. I came across a PDF, The Laws of the Universe and Life from the Foundation for Consciousness Development. And it's 78 pages. I didn't get through all of them this morning. But I took this. Spiritual development is an internal and so absolutely individual and personal task. Nobody can do it for anyone else. Truth, right? No, we can't do somebody else's spiritual development. We're challenged doing our own, right? Right. And we would like to do it. Yes, thank you. And we'd like to do it on others. Yes, nobody can do it for anyone else. Yet, nor can we do it without another, which I found interesting. In other words, we need to interact and share experiences with other people in order to achieve our own development. So I was thinking about our series that we're running, the Phoenix Rising series, and the talks that we're having with people, and that how not only my involvement as being involved either recording them or being a part of the conversation, when I watch them back, I'm taking things out of them that I didn't even know maybe were said in the moment, right? You know, you're in it and you're having the conversation with somebody, but maybe some of the stuff flies over your head in that time, and then you listen back and it's like, oh, I don't even know that I caught that in that moment. So this is involving another, right? We're actually relying on our interaction with other people to evolve that. So it says experiences with other people in order to achieve our own development, to know ourselves. This is where I thought it was really great. Sometimes, instead of getting on with our own development, we try to interfere with other people's. Huh? Anybody ever interfered with somebody else's development in any way, shape, or no? Okay. We're all good here, right? We don't do that here.
We should talk to them and help them understand
That's
that
right.
better.
We try to interfere with other people's, and instead of learning from them, we try to change them.
Seriously.
Yeah, there's people that do that. There's actually people in the world that do this. All this does is to distort the learning or attempt to distort it, and this complicates life itself. Right? So order of our evolution is involution and not other people. Yet we need that interaction with other people in order for our own evolution. But it's not an interaction of fixing or correcting other people. Is that, yeah? How do people feel about that? Yeah.
Agree.
Yeah, it's kind of true, right? And yet on Sunday morning, what's really great is on Sunday morning we can see that right now. But when we go home, and the rest of the week happens, are we going to be able to grab onto that? Are we going to remember that it's actually ourselves? And it's that thinking that everything in life is happening for me or for you and not to us. It's actually happening for us so that we can see our own evolution and experience our own evolution, right? And transcend where we are currently to that next place of ourselves, that next knowing of ourselves. So, transition into this next piece. Part of that journey looks like, in the world of order, is alignment. So when I think about the universe and order in the universe, everything seems to have a way of doing things. It's not accidental. Everything just evolves. You know, if we think of the Big Bang, and there's now arguments whether the Big Bang actually was the Big Bang or not, but if we think of that, from that came the way planets are developed, the way suns are developed, the way stars happen, all of that stuff that's going on is all orderly. It may look like chaos, but it's actually orderly chaos. So when we want to create change in our lives, there is an order to doing things. So I was thinking about this and a lot of things came into my head this morning. So for example, when I want to play my drums, I actually have to set them up. Right? There's an order in which I need to do things in order to set them up, in order to play them. Just like the sound equipment this morning and the video equipment, they need to be plugged in. You know, you might be able to plug things in a little bit differently each time, but in order for things to operate, they do need to be plugged in and in a particular way so that all of the different pieces can talk to one another. And so when we have an idea of how we want to be in the world, we also need to create order within ourselves in not only our thinking, but in our physical being as well. And Fillmore talks about this in his chapter on order. And I was thinking about it. It's like, I can think about doing great yoga, right? And there'll be something that will change within my consciousness about that experience. But unless I actually do the yoga, I will not have a complete change, both mentally and physically. They need to align. There needs to be an alignment that's going on. I can't just think about something and not actually do the deed. And so the order might be mind, idea, expression. Oh, wait, where have we heard that before? From Fillmore's teachings, right? We might have this idea, we think about this idea, and we go, we imagine something for ourselves, but then we actually need to do the work. It's a three-part deal. We can't just do one or two of them if we want that full expression to show up in our lives. If we want the physiology to change within ourselves, then we actually have to do the whole piece of work. And so what does that take? Probably takes some order, again, in our lives, right? It's like planning. Oh, I want to go do yoga. When am I going to do the yoga? How am I going to get to the place to do the yoga? All of these things become an exercise in creating order in our lives. I'm terrible with order in some ways. My office during schooling, my office became a complete disaster. To the point where I actually didn't want to go in it. Anybody have a place like that in their homes or their lives? Maybe it's in their life, not an actual physical place, but a mental place. I'm actually not going to go to that place because it's a mess. right? That's what my office became as I just tried to hang on to doing all the things I needed to do. And so I began cleaning my office recently, which I actually enjoy it. Like I go in there now and I'm like, wow, look at this, there's space. I can actually breathe in here again. And just that little bit of order being created in there had me joyful to go into that space and maybe start creating stuff again. Maybe actually start working in there again on a creative level. And so where in your life, here's the big piece, where in your life could you begin creating some order that would actually add to your life experience? Next is, for me, is the garage.
You've been talking about that for years.
It's like an ongoing thing. It's like the garage gets organized, and then everything that was unorganized in the house goes out into the garage. And then I have the task of the garage again. It's crazy. I've achieved parking our car in the garage about 6 times now for small periods of time, and then it's like, well, we can't park in there anymore. But this is what we get to do. This is evolution, right? This is the evolving of ourselves in any way that we want to do it, whether it's on the physical plane of areas that we live and work and play in, or whether it's, the mental stuff. What are the thoughts that we could clean out? What are the ways of thinking that we could eliminate? From Neville, I picked this up. You're only limited by weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. Weakness of attention and poverty of imagination. So even in the sense of doing something with our lives, there's an order to that. We need to actually imagine something, right? It begins with something, and then comes the, how am I going to do that? How is this going to happen? And then the attention to making that, and then the actual physical participation in that. When Kennedy went to, who was it, Dr. Warner von Braun, and said, what would it take to build a rocket that could bring a person to a moon and land them safely back on Earth? And he simply replied in 5 words, the will to do it. So even above order as the first law, you could actually take the power of will and put that on all of the 12 powers. It's almost like the supreme power is the power of will, the willingness to love more, the willingness to have more faith, the willingness to be strong in the moment, the willingness to imagine not the things that we can't do. How many people imagine what they can't do? I couldn't do that. Oh, that wouldn't work out. No, that's probably no. That's not going to be right. No, I don't know. I can't go there. That would be stupid, right? But that's our imagination running that lane instead of the imagination running the lane of what's possible. Yeah. So cleaning up our thoughts and having order in our thoughts and our thinking, which then creates a different vibration of our experience of life. And then we might get excited about something. And man, when you put passion and excitement into something, enthusiasm, the power of zeal, holy smokes, what can you accomplish? Better yet, what have you accomplished? Think about it. What have you done in your life that when you were excited about it, it actually worked out? Because I know everybody has had that. We've all had that experience. So there's a lot of work to do, people. There's a lot of work to do from what I see. We got to begin with order. We got to get some will. Have some faith in one another. Come on, we can do it. Yeah. So long, this is also from Fillmore, and I'll close on this. So long as there is a hidden secret use of truth in our habits and ways that we are not willing, that all should know, we will, he uses the term, just so long will the bondage of Egypt's Pharaoh hold us in its clutches. So as long as we're hiding the parts of us that are that expression, we are actually held in bondage. So we need to release ourselves, our truth, out into the world. Not from a place of fixing anybody else, right? Doesn't mean we go around telling other people what they need to do. We live that truth that we know. That's one of Unity's 5 principles. Live the truth we know. Doesn't say tell other people how to live the truth that we know. We need to live that truth that we know. Yeah. So let's take a few moments, if you will, join me. And maybe our genius keyboard player will assist us. But I invite you to just take a moment now, and if you're comfortable, close your eyes. Just allow yourself to take notice of your breath. And breath is such a great place to start. Allowing yourself to feel that breath come in. And to fully experience the breath on the exhale. And maybe invite yourself to live that truth you know. Fully embrace. Keep breathing, remembering your breath. Reminding yourself to turn inward. And as you're ready on a breath, an inward breath, you can open your eyes as you're ready. Namaste.
Our thoughts are prayer, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Be careful what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. thoughts are prayers, and we are always praying. Our thoughts are prayers. Take charge of what you're saying. Seek a higher consciousness, a state of peacefulness, and know that God is always there. And every thought becomes a prayer.
I've had Christmas music stuck in my head for a week. It's becoming a problem. For those of you who don't know, I do a lot of arranging, so I write for orchestras and bands and choirs and such. And so that usually means Christmas starts in September for me. But I kind of had this idea for a Christmas song. Rework. Well, let's see if this works. It might not. It's inspired by you. Take a little chance here. It sounds dangerous. Demon variations. theme and variations on Jingle Bells. It's kind of fun. It's a good melody, you know. There's a lot there.
Thank you. I'm gobsmacked.
It's a different perspective. Perspective.
But the both of you, your ability to improv. You know, I love theater, but I hate improv. I mean, for me, order is in the script.
I was going to say, you like the order.
Yeah. Thank you both. Inspiration. All right, community news. So Project Phoenix Rising episode number 8 is an interview with guess who? Our own Lisa Holloway. Very interesting. Please watch these episodes, and please, if you can, like them or make a comment or share them or subscribe to the YouTube channel or something. Each of those little acts you do helps get our message spread out to the world. So thank you for watching. Unity Vancouver Island has the prayer circle on the 2nd and 4th Tuesdays of the month at 11:30 at the Spiritual Center, and their candle lighting service is scheduled for Sunday, December 17th. Everyone is welcome always. And Unity in Victoria, their prayer circles are continuing on the first Monday of the month, December 4th. The Metropolitan United Church has been moved out of, and it's sort of new ownership. So they just want us to let you know that the prayer circles continue as always at that center, nothing to be afraid of. And our ongoing events, of course, happening here in Nanaimo. You can check them all out at our webpage, we're not supposed to say www anymore, at unityvancouverisland.com. Hey! We're stepping into the modern era right here. Okay, so A Christmas Carol. So this is a dramatic reading of the traditional story as written by Charles Douglas. We're practicing so that we're going to read it real goodly. And that will be up at Bethlehem Center on Wednesday, December the 20th, interspersed with music by the charming James Fan. So mark that on your calendar. And our Christmas candle lighting service will be on December 24th, also up at the Bethlehem Retreat Center. So, bring in the kids.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
And we're going to tell our kid what we think about him this morning. Hey, we see the divine light shining as you. We love and appreciate you exactly the way you are. And we can say the same for the two big kids who were out there today, Monica and Sharon. We love you too. So if you'd repeat with me our vision, Unity Vancouver Island is a growing, unfolding, expanding center of light, mighty to attract its good and radiate good to others. And our mission is contributing to a world powerfully transformed by our shared spiritual awareness. And I want to thank everyone for being here today, for the little things you're doing. All sorts of people are coming forward with the little fundraising ideas, volunteering, just really owning our center as we move forward in our exciting new steps. And please don't forget to join us on Friday, December the 1st. Those of you who are members, we will be voting on the purchase of the property on Caledonia Avenue. It's also membership renewal time for 2024. Cindy will be sending out an email very shortly that all you'll have to do is say yes and reply. Yes, renew my membership for 2024. If you are not a member and would like to be, there are membership application forms on the back table, or just see me. And if you shop online, if you do, please go on Amazon through our website, and that's another fundraising opportunity for us. Okay, Dawn will be in the prayer room this afternoon after service for individual one-on-one support. And thank you, Dawn, for being on camera. Leslie for stepping in on the tech table back there. Brian for stepping in on sound. And Thomas for all you do to hold it all together. Reverend Thomas. I keep calling him Thomas. Rev T. All right. All right, our prayer for protection and peace song. The light that is God surrounds us. We are one with the light. The love that is God enfolds us. We are one with the love. The power that is God protects us. We are one with the power. The presence that is God watches over us. We are one with the presence. Wherever we are, God is, and so it is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be. With love as our center, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this